Dr. Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, first published in 1963, is a cornerstone of the self-help and personal transformation genre. The book's enduring popularity stems from its powerful central premise that our thoughts directly shape our reality, and by learning to harness the immense, unseen power of our subconscious mind, we can solve problems, heal our bodies, achieve prosperity, and find lasting happiness. Blending elements of psychology, spirituality, and practical metaphysics, Murphy presents a guide to what he calls scientific prayer as a method for intentionally directing this inner force. This comprehensive summary will explore the book's core philosophy, its practical techniques, and its application across all areas of life, from health and wealth to marriage and spiritual well-being. A comprehensive summary of the power of your subconscious mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Introduction. The Treasure House Within You. The book opens with a bold and optimistic promise. Within every person lies a force greater than any they have ever imagined. Murphy asserts that the power of the subconscious mind is the master secret of the ages, known to great thinkers, prophets, and successful people throughout history. He defines the subconscious as a storehouse of infinite wisdom, intelligence, and power, a connecting link between the finite and the infinite. This inner power is not something one needs to acquire. It is something one must learn to use. The book is presented as a practical, how-to manual for doing just that, providing a step-by-step guide to unlocking this potential and witnessing miracles in one's own life. Part 1. The Fundamental Principles, the Conscious and Subconscious Minds. The foundation of Murphy's philosophy rests on the duality of the mind. He divides the mind into two distinct spheres, each with its own unique function. The conscious mind is the realm of reason, logic, and will. It is the objective waking mind that makes choices, analyzes information, and experiences the world through the five senses. Murphy compares the conscious mind to the captain of a ship, navigating and issuing orders. It is the decision-maker, the part of you that decides what you want, whether it be health, wealth, or a new career. The subconscious mind, by contrast, is the subjective mind. It is the vast, deep realm of emotion, memory, and imagination. It does not reason or argue. It simply accepts as absolute truth whatever the conscious mind impresses upon it. Murphy describes it as the crew of the ship, which faithfully carries out the orders of the captain without question. The subconscious is the seat of all involuntary bodily functions, the source of intuition and creativity, and the storehouse of every experience you have ever had. The relationship between the two is the key to everything. Murphy's fundamental law is simple. Whatever the conscious mind assumes to be true, the subconscious mind will accept and act upon. It works like a law of cause and effect, or a syllogism. If the conscious mind, the major premise, plants a seed of thought, the subconscious mind, the minor premise, will inevitably bring it to its logical conclusion. If you consciously believe you are weak and prone to failure, your subconscious will accept that premise and guide your actions and experiences to make it your reality. Conversely, if you consciously affirm, "I am strong, capable, and successful," your subconscious will accept that blueprint and work tirelessly to manifest it. This principle highlights the subconscious's indifference. It does not discriminate between good and bad, positive and negative. It works with whatever material it is given. If you dwell on fear, lack, and criticism, your subconscious will faithfully produce more experiences of fear, lack, and criticism. The crucial task, therefore, is to learn how to consciously control the thoughts and images we feed into this powerful inner force. Part 2. The Core Techniques. How to Impress the Subconscious. Knowing the theory is only half the battle. Murphy dedicates a significant portion of the book to providing practical, repeatable techniques for intentionally communicating with and directing the subconscious mind. These methods are designed to bypass the critical factor of the conscious mind and plant a desired seed deep in the subconscious soil. Visualization and the mental movie method. One of the most powerful techniques Murphy advocates is visualization. He argues that a mental image held in the mind will be taken as a command by the subconscious. To use this technique, you should vividly imagine the scene as it would appear if your desire were already fulfilled. For example, if you desire a new home, you should close your eyes and create a mental movie where you are walking through that home, feeling the texture of the walls, seeing the light through the windows, and experiencing the joy and gratitude of being there. The key is to engage all your senses and, most importantly, the feeling of reality. The subconscious responds to the emotion and conviction behind the image, not the mere act of thinking. Affirmations. Affirmation is the practice of stating something to be true over and over until it sinks into the subconscious. Murphy defines an affirmation as a positive declaration that impregnates the subconscious with a desired concept. These statements should be positive, present tense, and personal. Instead of saying, "I will not be poor," a proper affirmation would be, "I'm wealthy, prosperous, and successful." Instead of, "I will be healthy," one should affirm, "I am now whole, perfect, and strong." The repetition of these phrases, especially when spoken with feeling and conviction, gradually breaks down old, limiting thought patterns and establishes new, empowering ones.
The sleeping technique. Murphy places great emphasis on the period just before sleep as the most opportune time to influence the subconscious. During sleep, the conscious mind is at rest, and the subconscious is most receptive and active. He advises taking a few minutes before drifting off to take a mental voyage into a state of contentment. Instead of carrying the day's worries and anxieties to bed, you should pick a specific problem or goal and gently, confidently, turn it over to your subconscious. You might simply repeat a short affirmative phrase like, "Perfect health is now flowing through every cell of my body," or "Wisdom guides me in all my ways." By doing this, you are giving the subconscious a clear directive to work on while you sleep. Many of Murphy's anecdotes involve people solving complex problems or receiving creative inspiration upon waking, having used this method the night before. The thank you technique. This is a method of praying with an attitude of gratitude. Murphy teaches that instead of begging or pleading for something, you should give thanks as if you have already received it. This feeling of gratitude and acceptance is the strongest possible signal to the subconscious that the thing is already done. It aligns the entire mind with the reality of the desire, creating a powerful magnetic pull towards its manifestation. He calls this scientific prayer a deliberate, thoughtful, and emotionally charged process that combines the conscious and subconscious minds to achieve a specific purpose. A critical rule across all these techniques is to never force a mental image or use willpower to make it happen. Forced effort brings resistance and failure. The approach should be one of relaxed, confident, and expectant faith. Once you have successfully impressed the idea upon the subconscious, you must let go and trust the infinite intelligence within to bring it to pass, often through hunches, happy accidents, and breakthrough ideas. Part 3. Applying the power, transforming every aspect of life. The remainder of the book is a practical guide to applying these fundamental principles to every facet of human existence. Murphy provides specific formulas and real-life examples, case studies, to illustrate how the power of the subconscious can be harnessed for specific purposes. Health and healing. A major theme of the book is the mind's power over the body. Murphy argues that the subconscious mind is the great healer. It controls all the functions of the body, from the beating of the heart to the regeneration of cells. When a person is ill, it is often because a negative thought pattern, such as fear, resentment, or worry, has disrupted the body's natural harmony. He asserts that all healing, whether through medicine, surgery, or faith, ultimately comes from the same source, The revitalizing power of the subconscious. To promote healing, one must get the subconscious to accept the idea of perfect health. This is done by using the techniques described above. For instance, if a person has a physical ailment, they should not dwell on the condition. Instead, they should quietly and repeatedly suggest to themselves, "My subconscious knows how to heal me. Its wisdom fashioned my body and it can remake it perfectly. I now release that healing power." Shares anecdotes of people healing themselves of various conditions, including cancer, by persistently holding the mental image of health and vitality. Wealth and success. Murphy tackles the topic of money head-on, countering the idea that poverty is a virtue. He states emphatically that it is every person's right to be rich and to live an abundant life. Money, in his view, is not the root of evil. It is a symbol of exchange that allows people to live more fully and serve others more effectively. To attract wealth, the same principles apply. You must first find what you love to do, your unique talent or service. When you are doing what you love, you are aligning with the creative flow of life. Next, you must build the idea of wealth and abundance into your mentality. This means using affirmations like, "I am constantly attracting wealth and success. Money flows to me freely, generously, and endlessly." You should visualize your bank account growing and picture yourself using money for good purposes, such as providing for your family, helping others, and enjoying life. The key is to think from abundance, not about it. Do not focus on your current lack, as that will only perpetuate it. Instead, imagine the end result, the feeling of financial freedom, and let the subconscious find the way. For success in business, Murphy advises a 3-step process. 1. Find what you love to do. 2. Specialize in some aspect of that field. 3. Ensure that your work benefits humanity. When buying or selling, he suggests a mental technique of relaxing, imagining a successful conclusion to the transaction, and including the other party in your thoughts of goodwill, believing that the transaction will be mutually beneficial. Relationships and marriage. The book extends its principles to the realm of human relations, stating that the golden rule, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, is a reflection of the law of the subconscious mind. Whatever you wish for others, you are simultaneously wishing for yourself, because your subconscious mind, which is the creative medium, records your thoughts and intentions and acts upon them. For those seeking a marriage partner, Murphy advises against feeling lonely or desperate. Instead, one should get into the feeling of being loved and cherished. You can affirm, "I am attracting my ideal partner, someone who is harmonious, loving, and loyal. I give love freely, and it returns to me multiplied." This prepares the subconscious to recognize and attract the right person. For those already married, the subconscious can be used to resolve conflicts. He advises couples to pray together and to mutually agree on a common purpose. Instead of focusing on a partner's faults, one should affirm the good in them. He suggests a nightly practice of mentally picturing the spouse surrounded by the light of love, peace, and harmony, and silently wishing them well. This mental practice will, over time, dissolve resentment and foster a deeper connection, overcoming fear and breaking habits. Murphy identifies fear as the greatest enemy of humanity, the root cause of failure, sickness, and poor relationships. Fear is simply a powerful negative thought that has taken hold of the mind. To overcome it, one must replace it with its opposite, faith. His technique for overcoming a specific phobia, like fear of heights or enclosed spaces, is to deliberately, in a relaxed state, visualize yourself in that situation and then consciously bless it. For example, if you fear elevators, you would imagine yourself standing in an elevator, feeling calm and peaceful, and mentally saying, "This elevator is a creation of the universal intelligence. It is safe, strong, and secure. I am one with the infinite, life that is everywhere." By repeatedly pairing the feared object with a positive, affirming thought, you recondition your subconscious response. The same principle applies to breaking bad habits like smoking or overeating. He states that since imagination created the habit, imagination can also break it. The first step is to admit the problem and stop feeling powerless. Then vividly imagine yourself as already free from the habit. Picture a loved one congratulating you on your success. Feel the pride and relief. This new mental image, held with feeling, will eventually dissolve the old pattern. Forgiveness and happiness. Forgiveness is presented not as a moral obligation, but as a practical necessity for mental health. Harboring resentment or ill will towards another person is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. These negative feelings poison the forgiver's own subconscious mind, attracting more discord and unhappiness. Murphy provides a specific technique for forgiveness. Get into a quiet state. Think of God or the infinite loving presence, and then sincerely affirm, I release name of person completely. I wish them peace, health, and all the blessings of life. I am free and they are free. The goal is to reach a point where you can think of that person without any painful emotion. Happiness, according to Murphy, is a state of mind that can be chosen. It is not dependent on external circumstances but on internal thought and feeling. True happiness comes from dwelling on the eternal truths of life: goodness, beauty, love, and truth. He advises beginning each day by surrendering one's life to a higher power, affirming that divine order governs my day. I attract to myself only those things that are for my highest good. By banishing fear, worry, and negative talk, and by focusing on virtuous qualities, one aligns with the best part of oneself and expresses the divine, resulting in a lasting sense of peace and well-being. Part 4. Spiritual Perspectives and the Infinite. Throughout the book, Murphy weaves a strong spiritual thread into his psychological framework. He frequently quotes the King James Bible, interpreting its passages as allegorical references to the workings of the conscious and subconscious mind. For him, the subconscious is not just a psychological mechanism. It is the point of contact with the universal mind of God, which he also terms creative intelligence or infinite intelligence. He argues that the miracle-working power of the subconscious existed long before any religion or church. The principles he describes are eternal laws of life. Prayer, in his view, is not about petitioning a distant deity but about consciously aligning one's mind with this infinite power within. When a prayer is answered, it is not due to a special religious affiliation, but because of the individual's belief, mental acceptance, and receptivity. This is why his techniques work for people of all faiths or of no particular faith. The power is impersonal and universal, responding to the law of belief. Conclusion: a guide for personal transformation. The power of your subconscious mind concludes by bringing its message full circle, reminding the reader that the power to change, grow, and achieve lies within. The final chapter on staying young in spirit encapsulates this. While the body inevitably ages, the subconscious mind, being timeless, never does. By constantly dwelling on positive qualities like kindness, humility, and goodwill, one remains vibrantly alive and youthful in spirit, regardless of chronological age. The book's lasting impact comes from its empowering message. It places the responsibility for one's life squarely in one's own hands. It suggests that you are not a victim of fate or circumstance, but the master of your destiny, capable of shaping your reality through the disciplined direction of your thoughts. While some critics may note that it places the burden of failure on the practitioner, if it didn't work, you didn't do it right. For millions of readers, the book has served as a practical and inspirational roadmap to unlocking their hidden potential and creating a life of greater health, wealth, and happiness. It remains a seminal work that affirms the extraordinary possibilities of thought and the boundless power of the subconscious mind.